So, hi guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the YCB, your coding buddy. And today's topic is okay. So today we are going to discuss one more topic, and that is conditions. Like if you wanted to run some code conditionally. If something happens, then only do you want to execute that. Otherwise, something else, right? Or you can say so if something will happen, then only run those particular lines, and we can okay, so we can compare it with our real life also. Sometimes, for example, I'll tell you one example. Let's say, let's continue with the same example in kitchen. So if you have some ingredients, maybe you wanted to cook chicken biryani. Now you went to chicken shop, and you wanted to buy some chicken, but you saw the door is closed and shop is closed, you can say. Now what you will do? You have condition like, if I'll get chicken, then only I'll cook chicken biryani. Otherwise, maybe you will cook egg biryani, or maybe you won't cook, you will continue with something else, or you will eat outside, something like that. So these conditions are always happening in everywhere. Maybe you said like, okay, once I'll become master in Python, then I'll start learning other things. And till so far, I will continue the Python learning. So you can see everywhere conditions are there. So let me start without wasting your time and my time. Actually, I have to go office and just started recording it. So yeah, so it's, oh man, what has happened? Okay, so I'll explain it to you quickly. Yeah, so let's see. So what is topic today? Condition, how to run something conditionally. So to be precise, we call it as a if else, or you can say if, elif, and I'll tell you, don't worry about it, and else. This is what we call conditions. So simply it's nothing but how to, it's a run code conditionally. Okay. Yeah, so I don't want to focus on theory part, because theory you can learn it, you can ask chat gpt and you will get to know. So that's not important. We are going to discuss more about the practical and hands-on, as well as like what exactly and how it works. So just imagine, if let's say, in simpler terms, if I have chicken, cook chicken biryani. Oh, I have to execute something, chicken biryani. Else, you can say else if, that means if something else I have. If I have egg, let's take another example. I have egg. Forget about this. Just say like, if I have this, if I have this, if I have this. Let's take okay. If I have egg, cook egg biryani. Okay. Else maybe you can say like a, so else if, else you will say, okay, if this is not the case, so you have three things. First, if something is already available, then you will cook chicken. First, you are going to check chicken if is available in your kitchen or not. Then you will say, okay, if this is the condition. Else, I mean, if both are not available, then you are sure like, okay, I have third thing, that is like, maybe you can say veg biryani. Will be in green. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, so far, like, it's for only three conditions, or for you can chain it for thousands of conditions, right? So here the same way, suppose here it is for real life. And if you want to run some code conditionally, then we have something like if block. If means what you wanted to run first. So it will, you know what, how it's going to check. Like if you are going to work in real life, then you will say, okay, first let me check this. If it is not, then you will check this one. If this is not, then you will check this third condition. You will say, okay, this will be the final condition. So we have, just I'll go to I'll tell you syntax. Okay, so if you notice one thing here, these conditions are nothing but you will get yes or no. And what is in Python to represent yes and no? True and false, right? Boolean values. Like you will say, okay, true, or you will say false. So what are the data type of this? Uh, Boolean. What is data type of this? Not what are the data type of this? This. uh, literal, or we can say values. So same like here, first condition you will write like something like, if this is going to happen, condition, run these lines. I'm just telling you, first syntax similar. If now you want to you just want to check, test out, do two conditions, like if something happen, then do this, otherwise do it. So you can say, think like else is nothing but otherwise, and you will run this code. Or this is one condition, right? Or you have still only, like you want to run something only if something is happening, if condition is satisfying, or a condition. So condition, what will be the value of condition here? If you will getting true, then only this code is going to run. Otherwise, irrespective what is, like forget about the condition, it's going to run this code. Okay. And suppose there is some code, for example, if I'll get 100%, I'll get 78%, not 78, 95% marks, then I'm gonna take admission in DU, Delhi University. Okay. You want just that, you don't have any otherwise condition, you don't want to enter anywhere, so you have just only one condition and you will run code. Otherwise you don't want to do anything. Another use is like you have multiple condition. If this, let's say if condition, and here you can say, you can write any boolean expression. If you know, yesterday only we discussed about the, in previous lecture we discussed about the comparison operator, where you want, so your goal is you should compare something, and accordingly, or maybe you have to find something that will return true or false, and based on that you are going to decide whether you want to execute this code or not. So if something is true, then you will do this. And if you want to check few more conditions, like you want to test multiple conditions, then you can chain it like else. Normally we say, like in other programming we say else if, and then condition, and finally else if you want to add other condition in other programming language, in other. But in Python, what you will do, you have something similar syntax, but instead of writing like else space if, you have something like you can merge it, and you will say elif, elif. So here it will be like merged, and elif you will say without a space. Okay, I don't want to confuse you. Elif, elif condition, and you can chain it. For example, if you will get a 95%, then you will enter into DU. If you get something like a 90%, then you will take admission into, man, then you will take into AMU or maybe any other university. If there is this like a 80%, so you will get into this admission, this college. And if else if, and you can stop it, like you don't need to write else condition. If you don't want to run any else condition, you are very specific, like okay, if I'll get into this range of marks, then only I'll run this, otherwise I won't. I mean, I don't want. So then if you want it, you can use else block. Okay. So these are the conditions. Else is like when nothing is satisfying, then you are going to jump into this condition, this else block. If none of the above conditions are being fulfilled, then you will say okay. So this is about the if and else. And I think now we can jump. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll respond to you. Okay. And so let's take example. I'll explain it with you. Explain to you. Let's take marks and we will grade them, right? So we got marks, so we stored marks in a, let's say we got marks, and we have something like a percentage, let's say. Okay, so you can say result, and if you remember, like we are going to use snake case, result percentage. So I'm just using percentage, and let's say you got 98.5 percentage, right? Now you wanted to calculate the grade, right? You want to calculate grade, how much grade you got, A, B, C. So if let's say for A grade you have 95 plus, you if you are getting 95% plus 95 plus. B, if you are getting 90 or plus. Okay. C, 85 plus, I don't know what's the grading is. And D will be like something like 80 plus or less than 80. And else E like less than 80, right? So before 80 you can say. Okay. So less than 80. 80 plus equals to, I will say like plus equals to 95 plus equals to, and yeah. So these are the grades. Now we wanted to code it in real like program, like okay. So first thing, you have percentage, right? So you are gonna compare this with the result. So you have result percentage and you want to compare it with this. So like you will say result percentage. Okay. So if just imagine, forget about the if condition, how you will compare whether it is 95. If you want to compare like whether it is 95 or not, then you will say 95 equals to, you will use comparison operator or comparison operator equal. Okay. But if you wanted to see, okay, if it is 95 or greater than 95, then you will use greater than equals to operator. Okay. Result percentage is greater than equals to 95. Okay. Same if you wanted to see like suppose if it is less than 80, so you'll say result percentage what less than 80. Yeah, this one for this one. Now let's code it. First I'll draw it here, then we are going to code it into the IDE. Okay, notepad basically. So first thing, okay, I'll keep it here in the side. So you will write something like okay, if then condition. What will be the condition? I'm just keeping brackets, but you can write without brackets, code will understand, but I'm keeping you for simplicity, like okay, if condition we are keeping inside the bracket. So if what is our let's make it a little smaller variable, otherwise I have to write. So let's say, oh man, oh yeah, RP result percentage, simply RP. What is the condition for A grade? So we'll start with A. So we'll start from top to bottom. You can use any conditions. So it will scan like okay. So you will say okay, it's 95 or greater than 95. So you will say okay, if RP greater than equals to 95, then what do you say? Let's take, let's say grade. We have variable grade that we are going to assign value. Okay. So what you will say? Okay, I have grade A and I will assign it value A. You can use double quotes, so we are assigning A. Else elif, you have other conditions, right? If it is greater than 95, I mean greater than 90, this condition, you will say RP result percentage greater than equals to 90. Okay, and now you will think okay, it's greater than actually I'm okay, if it is greater than 90, but what about other condition, like if it is greater than 95, I mean it should be less than 95, right? That condition we already covered here, so we don't need to write. That's why if you will follow from top to bottom, then you don't need to write those conditions. If this is the true, then it will stop it here only. If this condition is not satisfying, means that is the number is less than 95, right? If it is greater than 95, then definitely this will execute, but that means it is less than 95. Now you are checking another condition, so it is already been covered in the first condition. So you will say okay, now you will assign grade label equals to B. elif, if it is nothing but if it is less than 90, because if it is greater than or equals to 90, it will already be being, it will be covered or it will be executed, this code will, this line will be executed. Okay, third condition is 85. So you will say okay, if RP greater than or equals to 85, if it is 85%, then you will say no problem, it will be C grade. Okay, and similarly you will say elif RP greater than equals to 80. It's less than 85 definitely, and it is greater than or equals to 80. Then you will say grade D. You will assign grade D, right? Otherwise, whatever conditions you are getting, that means it will be lesser than 80, right? So we can else, and you can say you don't need to write condition, or even you can, if you wanted to cover, then you can say you have other option like elif and RP less than 80, and you can write grade. So this is one condition. Or if you don't want to write elif again and you just wanted to, this is the fallback condition, right? If that is not, If above conditions are not satisfying, that means it is less than 80, right? So you don't need to write the condition, and you can omit it, and you can write directly, okay, everything will be like come under else block and grading. Okay, so this is what. And finally you can print uh, the output grade, and that way you can solve it. You can write a program for it. And in the similar way, like if you wanted to check, like for example, if some calculation is like, if your is like, let's take a small calculator, you are building a age calculator, and based on that whether you have voting rights or not. So you can say if age is greater than or less greater, if age is greater than or equals to 18, that means you are eligible to vote, otherwise you are not eligible to vote. So that's how it's you can think of like programming is just real life examples, and they have created based on that. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. Let's jump to, I'm so sorry, I'm inspiring, I think. Okay, so let's jump and start screen recording, and I'll walk you through the code basically. We'll demo this, like I'll give you demo in the laptop. Come on, is 5 actually? Oh, it's 1:13 p.m. God, I don't know when I'll reach office. I haven't opened my laptop yet. Okay, so ls, we are in the direct. First let me, okay, so I'm in the terminal. If you wanted to open terminal, if you are in Mac, open command prompt. If you are in Windows, and if you are in Linux, then also you can use terminal. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to navigate to desktop because I created the folder there. So desktop, so you can see it's now desktop folder. And now I will go to the directory. There is a directory. So if you wanted to list out all the directories, then you can say ls command. It will work in Linux and Linux and Windows. Not Windows, sorry, my bad. MacBook. Okay, it will work. So here you can see I have created one direct folder, that is Python lectures. So cd Python lecture, lectures. So I'm just clearing everything. Okay, now we have Python, and if you wanted to, okay, so we are going to create one file, touch lecture, I don't know what's it's 07.py ls, you can see. And now I'm gonna open this from folder. So I'll show you, like go to the desktop, and I'm creating every day something. So lecture 07.py, and I will open with the same code editor, text edit, though it's not good, but still we can use it. Can I open it in? No, it's not going to help, I mean. Oh man, I actually I forgot it. I need to do something first. So here, okay. Okay, let me open the folder, and what I'll do. Oh, what is the wrong? Yeah. So let me open it with the same text editor. Open with, you can say, where is that? Yeah, text edit. I know it's not good. It's basically, oh, come on. I need to open it side by side. Okay, so yeah, it's done. So we are in the lecture 7. So let's say I'll just write a comment. So for that you have to, if you want to write a single line comment, just say single. Okay, so I'll add some comment. I'll tell you like how to write multi-line comment, but for the time being, just use single line comment. Okay, so here what we are going to do, simply I'll write something like something meaningful. So if conditions, conditional block in Python. And I forgot you to tell one thing. Okay, so first thing is like we have something like this. You can say what result percent. Okay, so I'm keeping result percent, and you got something like you asked the user, and user provided you input. So let's say we my marks are 98 percentage. Okay, so you kept it. And what will be the data type of it once it will interpreter? Definitely it will be integer, but suppose you didn't get the and a number, you get 98.5, so it will be float, right? For decimal values or for the fractional values we used it. So leave it, forget it. So now you wanted to write the code. If, okay, my bad, it's going to irritate me. If condition, so I said like you can use bracket or without parenthesis, so I will use without parenthesis here, result percentage. So first condition, for a grade A, you will say okay, if the result percentage is greater than equals to 95, then what you will say? Okay, so I think I haven't told you the condition, right? So after that, like once you are finishing the condition, you have to use colon colon to say okay, now the condition is over, and in the new line I'm gonna tell you okay what code needs to be executed. Now if you'll write like this, okay, suppose I write like okay, grade, okay, grade equals to A, okay, let's say it is like that. Then you said like elif, okay, else if result, I will tell you like why it's wrong, okay, greater than equals to 90, right? Then you use colon, okay, this is the condition over, and now I want to run some code. So grade equals to B, and again I just kept a space, that's not going to harm you. Oh, so you will say result percentage is nothing but now greater than equals to 85. Then you will say okay, if it is greater than 85, then say here also I kept grade, it automatically kept actually grade. Oh god. Grade I need to switch into, it's not going to help us. And yeah, now it's elif, okay, if result percentage is okay, so if it is greater than, I already told you, so 85 80, then you will say okay, then it will be grade don't just believe in whatever I'm saying, just think like why it's like that, why we are keeping colon, why don't we, if we don't keep colon, then what will be the, it is called as colon, okay, and semicolon means there will be a comma like that. So semicolon is this one, and this is colon. And now I'm just saying okay, if this is not conditions not satisfying, then else, and you can say grade equals to E. Okay, if you'll keep grade and grade like this, then this one will be treated different variable, and this is new label. So definitely whatever you will print, if suppose you are not getting this, then it will say okay, it will throw error. Okay, so now we got, shall we run it? No, okay, let's print it. I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Print grade, we print grade. Okay, first we need to save the file so that it won't show you here edited. And now let me run python lecture 07.py. oh my bad, I got lecture 07. Oh, 07, great. You see, you got the error at line number 9. Here you can't count the line 1 2, there are some lines, space lines, so this is line number 8. Here if you can see grade A. So I don't know like what needs to be done for this condition. It seems like it is expecting once you done this, it is expecting it wants like you to tell how many lines you want to run after it, but you will say okay, I just kept this like this. It won't be able to detect whether this is a condition or whether it is a line that should be executed, where it is starting and where it is ending. It won't be able, okay, you can think like okay, this is a condition, next condition similar to elif, it could be, right? You are interpreter, it don't know what you wanted to write, it can't read your mind. So that's where in other programming language we use something like curly braces, like you wanted to here your code is starting, here your code block is ending. But in python we don't have something that concept, we are completely relying on indentation. Indentation means you are adding some extra spaces. Okay, so if you'll add one space after it, let's say, so it will, okay, it will understood like okay, this is not in the same level that it is. So it will say okay, this is nothing but the code inside this if condition. Okay, similarly here also, and it's not necessary that you should, I think 1 2 you can add it, right? Here also it depends on you how many indentation you are adding, but it should be uh, inside the block. So for example, here I kept two spaces, here I kept one space, and let's see first thing. We'll save it. uh, oh god, I'm just clicking on another one. Save it, and you will run it. A, you are getting, I just wanted to experiment with this. C where I kept two. C or D? Let's say you kept one more in the B. And now let's say our percentage is, if you wanted to execute B condition, that means your percentage should be greater than 90, but it should be less than 95. So let's say 91%, 91.3%, let's say. It will run. So basically what it wants, where your line is starting, the next line, if you want to keep some code inside it, inside that block, then there should be indentation. For that there isn't any normally if you are going to use editor, then there will be four spaces we used to indent. But right now I'm just telling you from scratch, so it's not necessary like you should keep the same level of indentation at each. But as per the Python guidelines, you should keep identical indentation, and for that people are following. Even if you use VS Code or something, it will automatically, you will press tab and it will go to indentation and it will use four spaces for that. So that's what, so that's how you can use. So if you see, this line is not at the same level, it is inside it. So it will able to, interpreter will be able to interpret, okay, this line is inside it, so it's part of it, it's block of, it's inside it, we need to execute this line. Once it will say, okay, the level is now gone, or maybe it's same at same level, it will say, okay, this is not the part of this line, so it will be something like condition or something. Yeah, okay, so that won't run. Okay, so that's how it will work. Got it, I think you got it. And suppose you kept it something like this, maybe after that, okay, so elif means, if you are using elif, that means there will be if. So after that it is chaining and all. So you can see, if you now you will if I'll keep 90, for example, if it is less than 90, then what will be C grade. So let's say 80, 88 percentage, it will come into third line, and it will say, okay, because if you say 88, it will compare with first line, okay, it's not matching. Second, it is not matching. Third, it will say, okay, it is matching, it's greater than 85. Yeah, let's print grade C. And what if you want to do something else here? Okay, if it is less than or 80, greater than 80, so let's say 81. Okay, then what it will do, it will say, okay, it's less than 85, now it's not fulfilling this condition, so it will be false. It will come jump into the fourth condition or this one, and it will say, okay, let's run. It will say D, grade is D. And if you'll say, if it is less than 80, let's say 79, the percentage is 79, so what it will do, it will say, okay, grade is E. Okay, suppose you wanted to, now you will be having doubts like, okay, what if I wanted to run some other code, I don't want to see the grade. Let's say, let's run something, okay, print. But just remember one thing, when you are writing code, all the code would be at same indentation. If I'll keep print hello, I think then it will throw error. I never experimented with these kind of things. You can see the level of those indentation, it's not sure where it is part of this one. Suppose it considered this level, then it should be at the same level. So that's why within a block it should be same, but so that it will consider the same block E. And it's okay. Now if I'll keep, I wanted to run something like a 80, 81, then you wanted to run this too. So it's going to do two things. First it will print hello, then it will go us and assign D grade, and then it will run the final code that is out of the if else block. So if you see 81, so let's start from starting, and I'll tell you like how it's going to how it is executing the code. Just start reading. First, what you did, you have 81%, you assigned a label it to result percentage. Now you are checking, is result percentage greater than equals to 90? You'll say, okay, 81 is not greater than, here place 81, and you will say okay, 81 is not greater than or equals to 95, right? So it will say okay, this condition is not satisfying, it will return false. This expression, this expression will return false. Okay, so now it will jump into another condition. Second one, it will check from top to bottom. So it will check, okay, result percentage greater than equals to 90. You will say 81. No, it's less than 90. So you'll say okay, skip it. Now you will jump into this one. You will say okay, let me evaluate this expression. Is it greater than 85? You will say no, it is 81. It's not greater than or equals to 85. So you will say okay, grade C, it won't execute this code, it will skip into this. All the code block that, like all the code that is after it and that is within this with the same indentation, it will skip it. Then it will jump into the fourth block and it will say okay, is it 80% greater than 80? Yeah, you will say 81, it is greater than or equals to 80. So yeah, it's 81 is greater than this. So you will say okay, let me go through the code block and see what can I print. So it will print hello first. Okay, then it will say okay, now I need to assign grade d value as a grade, label grade. After that, it will skip it, like whatever the preceding conditions are there, because it is already satisfied, so it's not going to check. Even it will skip, even if suppose you kept two conditions, like okay, let's take one more condition. I will tell you, if like you kept the same condition, right, 80 percentage. So 80%, let's say it is also 80%. Now you will say hello world and it is like grade dd, let's say. Now you, what you are expecting, it will check this condition, and after that if it is satisfying, then this should check also this condition, right? Because this is also satisfying, two conditions. But no, if one is satisfied, then it skip it, it will skip. Okay, it is the condition that I am expecting. So that's what. See, it executed this one, and after that it skipped, even though other condition is matching, but it will skip all the code that is preceding it with the same if else block conditions. Like if it is it's like a chain. If, then if you are doing something else, if, elif, like that. So I think I hope you get it, and if you have still doubts, maybe I'm planning this week, I'll live stream and I'll solve your doubts if you have anything. And yeah, so that's all for the video, and thank you so much. If you like the video, you can like it, and otherwise if you have any queries, concerns, or if you don't like it, just hit dislike button so that I'll get again I spat on my screen. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, if you don't like it, just hit dislike button. I really really appreciate it, and I will feel it will be a kind of not motivation, but it will be a kind of feedback for me. And I really want, if you don't like, just dislike it. I would really appreciate it, because the simple reason is I want to improve my articulation skill, and for that it is best if you are providing your feedback. Thank you so much. Bye bye.